Hey guys, Deadshot Dumbass here, with another cancerous waste of y'all's time. No, I'm just kidding. Hopefully. But today, we're going to be talking about something a little bit more serious on story time. Today, we're going to be talking about the time I went to jail. Now, you could call it me being embarrassed, you could call it me being a pussy, you could call it whatever the fuck you want. I don't really give a fuck. I was just never really comfortable with telling the full story, I guess. At least not 100% of it. It was something that kind of made me feel cornered every time I actually decided to put it out there. And so I edited things. Now note here, yes, I know. I lied to my friends to save face. But this is the real, unedited, no bullshit story. I'm going to preface it by saying, at the end of this, I did plead guilty. Anyway. This story starts about 3.5 hours before the actual incident. I had decided to go to the sports park by my house, right? I had an itch to play some basketball. It was my first time actually playing in probably close to a year. Maybe 2. I don't know. It was a while. And I did. I played hard. I'm not going to say I was the best, but I definitely sweat the hardest. Now, the point of that was, by the time I got off the court, I was just so goddamn exhausted from the whole affair. And skating is quicker than walking. And exhausted as I am, I'm not thinking what's easier, I'm thinking what's quicker, so I'm going to skate. Now, at this point in the story, I have to backtrack for a bit and explain something else. I had been pulled over for skating in the bike lane once before. Nothing serious happened, but I was ticketed in this instance. Now, you might ask why I have to skate in the bike lane in the first place. And the we're keeping that one. The answer is actually quite simple. California, my area being really no exception, has a lot of shopping centers and turns that cut off the sidewalk. And as a skater on the sidewalk, you lack ways to effectively brake because you don't have enough space to swerve or put your feet down or anything of that nature. I've actually been hit and run into cars and fallen off sidewalks because I was going too fast and a car whipped a turn without looking, didn't see me, and I had to stop or I would run into them, and I did run into them a few times. Now, I've almost died from this, so even though I had been ticketed for it, a ticket is a lot better than almost dying, right? Well, this experience made me question that. So, back to the story at this point. So I'm exhausted. I just want to get home. And I'm skating home. At this point, I was actually being careful. I had only been on the bike lane at the end of a particularly steep hill I could not have taken from the sidewalk. And once I got to the bottom of it, I immediately transferred to the sidewalk. And I'm skating home on the phone with my mother because I was planning on stopping by her hotel, which was on the way, when the cop car pulls into me and his lights flash. And at this point, I'm so exhausted and confused, and I'm not thinking that, me being at the bike lane for a nanosecond is even a problem, because I transferred so fast to the sidewalk. So as he exits his car, I'm saying, "Hey, officer, mind giving me 1 second to say goodbye to my mother?" To which he responded as heartlessly as I've ever heard a person say, "No." Put the phone down. So me, being fairly fucking exhausted out of my mind and not sure of what's going on, just put the phone to my side as he walked towards me, hand on his fucking holster. Didn't hang it up, just left it going while my mom is freaking out on the other end, going, "What's going on?" As he's walking towards me, I start asking him, "So why are you stopping me, officer? What have I done? Why are you stopping me?" And as he advances and doesn't respond, I get a little bit more belligerent. "Why are you stopping me, officer? What have I done?" All he says back is, "Put the skateboard down." To which I'm resistant because I'm still trying to figure out why the hell he stopped me in the first place. But I did put it down after being asked, very near to my feet, being insecure about the entire situation. He then says, "Put the skateboard away," to which I respond with, "I just did." Next thing I know, I'm being handcuffed and read my rights. The next moment, my mother came rushing down the street from her hotel, screaming that I was innocent, screaming that they were doing the wrong thing, screaming anything she could to try and get them away from me. And she eventually got close enough to the scene to talk with some of the other officers who had arrived there, who I assume were there to watch their buddy teach a little fucking white twat a lesson, while they moved her further and further away from me. Now, I admit that I copped an attitude past a certain point, but I really shouldn't have to say this in my defense. I'm going to anyway. When handcuffs are on a person for a reason that is unknown, they've got no clue what's going on, and it's possibly not even their fault, they get a little bit belligerent, and I did. First cussing out the cops for promoting rules that cause people to get hurt and die, then screaming at my mother to get the fuck away from the situation before they put cuffs on her too. Which, as a side note, the officer who took me to jail later did explain that he was very close to putting cuffs on my mother that night. Now, after this whole incident, I found out that apparently, in their ways of dealing with me, because they did not explain to me why they were stopping me, that this was actually an incorrect stop. Now, obviously, I pled guilty to this situation. There's not much I can do about it now. But this is, you know, the whole situation, and I honestly just think it was fucked beyond belief. That being said, once you've screamed, "Why the fuck are you stopping me, asshole," the third or so time to a peace officer, once you scream anything at a peace officer, unless you're related to them, they're thinking about taking you in. And I know I was in the wrong for that, but I don't think I deserve jail for it. So, there you go, guys. There's the full unedited story of how I went to jail. Now, I'll try and compile some jail stories or something of the like to share if you guys are interested in it, if interest in this video is high. But with that, I hope you enjoyed today's story, or it at least made you think, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace!
How about I have Zupa? Take two and call me in the... I have my eye on you.